First question is which has the more memorable characters?
Easily, the more memorable characters come from the prequel trilogy. Darth Maul is one of the most talked about characters, period, in the Star Wars universe. Like Yoda, he existed in the original trilogy, but he didn't become the icon that he is until the prequel trilogy. Like seeing him in action against Count Dooku and all the things that he fought in those movies. That's when people were like, oh yeah, Yoda's that guy. That guy. It's more than just quotes. He's more than just teaching Luke the Force. As much as he's hated, Jar Jar Binks is memorable as shit. Like people definitely like you. I'm not saying you like him, but you definitely remember Jar Jar Binks as soon as he comes onto the screen. Qui-Gon Jinn, this is the first time we ever get to see Liam Neeson die in a movie. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, seeing him as the younger version, you get to see way more of him in the original trilogy. I mean, in the prequel trilogy than you do in the original trilogy. He's in there for like an hour. This is where you really define who those characters were.
I will open by simply saying Darth Vader. You literally cannot go anywhere on this planet and say Darth Vader and not see panties drop or see dudes' heads swing around with full erections. He is the Grand Pumbaa of badasses. I've known pimps that rock capes and red canes in honor of Darth Vader. If you're going to go with badass legacies and characters, Han Solo is such a memorable character that when a beautiful woman says, I love you to him, and he says, I know, fans were like, well done. Well done. Yoda. This is something that you brought up yourself a couple of debates ago, as far as quotes. Yoda says, do or do not, a memorable quote. How many quotes does Yoda make in the prequels that are memorable? Lest we forget Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia in a bikini strangling Jabba the Hutt. That's the single most memorable character that you can possibly have in puberty. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Lando. Billy D. Williams had so much smooth swagger that the sales on Pump for Your Hair flew through the roof after he appeared at the end of Star Wars Investment.
We're going to talk about which has the most memorable moments.
I would definitely say the most memorable moments come from the prequel trilogy. What do you remember most about Star Wars? Do you remember the lightsaber fight? It's debatable which one had the better fights when it comes to the two. Like it's almost like a art production in somebody's gym room compared to actual movie. Like it's actually seeing Anakin's progression, even though it was like a horrible. I'm not even gonna mention his name right now. Seeing him progress from being the kid to the Darth Vader that is so highly coveted, like Ethan was saying, was probably the best experience of the Star Wars prequels by far. I mean, the final fight between him and Obi-Wan was amazing. Just how far they went to defeat the other. Like everybody remembers the moment, I have the high ground. Like that was epic. Even for the people that just straight up hate the prequels, even those people cannot deny how epic seeing that final fight was. Like that progression was great. Palpatine, like seeing his manipulations that he did over time to become the emperor that he was in the original trilogy was fantastic. He was secretly one of the better villains in media because of how he enacted his plans to become who he became.
I would say it's the very first second, the scrolling text that pops up with the John Williams music. That didn't originate in the prequels, my friend. That originated in episode 4, A New Hope. Because that, in and of itself, is one of the single most memorable moments. It's the first time you saw episode 4 and were introduced to the Star Wars universe. Memorable moment. Undisputable. All of the rebels making the run on the Death Star. And you have Luke having to use the Force for the first time, not just a matter of life and death, but a matter of genocide and not genocide. He uses the Force and takes down the Death Star. using the Force. That in of itself originated from Episode 4, from Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness, partially sober, saying that to Luke Skywalker over and over again. Memorable moment. The first time you see Frank Oz's Yoda. Memorable creature, memorable design, memorable world, memorable training sequence. Another great memorable moment that happens, of course, is when Luke crosses blades with Vader for the first time on Bespin. That setting is fantastic. It's one of the most memorable things you can imagine in all of sci-fi, all of film, all of cinema. The Ewoks running around doing their thing, saying "Yub Nub." Try to forget them. I'm not saying you have to like them. Just like Jar Jar Binks, I'm saying try to forget them.
All right. It was getting a little hot. It was a little hot. It was a little heat on the start.